Okay, so we have our app here. We can load an example, change the format, run the alignments, and we get the output. So that's still the functionality is there, but this is still running on localhost. So what we want to do is push this to um, GitHub and host it statically on GitHub so that anyone will be able to access it and um, run this tool in their browser. So we still have this issue of the missing type declaration. So I'm going to try and figure out how to fix that because I think if we run build, that will break. No, it doesn't care. Okay, so we can build that. That's good. Currently, you'll see the way that it built is with the server. So SvelteKit is set up to do what's called server-side rendering. So that means that it will essentially deploy a server with a back end and a front end. And the idea is, you get a lot of benefits from doing that. You can write server-side logic, so you can have code that is not accessible to the user. But really, the idea behind WebAssembly is that we don't have to have a server, right? So we don't need the server. And what we actually want to do is compile all the code into a single-page web application. So that will just load everything to the front end, and then when we go to run our analysis, it all happens on the client. We don't need a server at all. So we're going to have to change our configuration for how the server is built. So we can do that through the adapter in Svelte. And I just have a pre-built script here. You can access the code for this, but essentially we use this adapter static. So we're going to statically build this site. And yeah, we just have, we're going to build it all to this build directory, some configuration and stuff there, but essentially it's just this. You can look up this static adapter tool. And so now if I run build, we cannot find this module, so we'll just install that. npm install this guy. So that was run. The good thing about running stuff client side as well is a lot of time the security features are pretty good. So, there's some low level vulnerabilities and stuff, but there's no real server or user data necessarily to compromise. So, a lot of the security issues aren't actually applicable to a client side only environment. But that's, there are going to be some issues, so you still have to be careful. Let me just double check that we actually added that. Yeah, so we have these two dependencies. Cool. We can run build now. Building. Yeah, so we need to set the route so that they are not server-side rendered. So to do that, we need to go to our, I think we go to our layout. Yeah, so we can add this file in our routes. We add a layout.json file and we just say SSR false and pre-rendered true. And so that's just our top level layout. And so that will apply to all of our pages. Let's hit rebuild again. There you go, building done. So now we have this build directory where we have all these tools that have now been pre-built. So we can actually serve that. We can run preview, and that will preview our actual statically hosted site. So there it is. We can use the example. Yeah, we'll just get the cluster output. Bam, it runs. So that is fantastic. Just trying to get a icon. So we might actually add that in. Yeah. What kind of icon do we want? And where is our icon pulled in? Import favicon from live assets. I think the browser will still try to render that. Like it'll still look for the icon, even though we're setting it, because it's just default. We're looking for it. So maybe we'll try and maybe I'll just generate a new, we can get some sort of icon, right? Let's just go to here. Um, favicon generator. Where's the good one? Is this the one completely free? Here we go. Let's just get an icon. Let's look for this. It doesn't have muscle or arm. I want like a strong arm. It's not enough. People and body. Here we go. Flexed biceps. This is the one we want. Download. Put that in here. Kill this. Unzip. Um, Flavicon. Oh, it's a bunch of stuff. We just put all of this into static, and I think that can be in assets, and we will go to our, seems like a lot of work for this, but it's fine. Icon. Weird. So now if we run preview, oh, that actually won't work. We need to do instead. Oh, okay, so that one just reloaded because we still have our dev environment loading. That's cool. So yeah, now it has that little muscle symbol there. That's cool. Now, oh, we might also change the manifest. So if we go to um, our what am I looking for? Our static files and then the manifest file. So I'm just going to copy a example manifest into here. It just sort of tells us a bunch of different things about the different theme colors. Let's just see what, we'll just remove all these. We'll call it muscle WebAssembly. Description, we'll take this one. That in there. Not sure if that's actually relevant, but okay. So that won't be visible currently. I think if we, where's our dev page? Run dev, we reload that. Will that's actually, okay, that's all right. So this will actually take effect once we deploy it, but it basically will enable us to install this locally in this standalone mode. Okay, we've got a bunch of changes to commits about, we don't need that, discard that. We don't need that, discard that. We added a new package, so we can add that one. Add the dependency, manifest, config, we'll add that. Updated the, yeah, so static config, the layouts, this is all icon, manifest, site, manifest. Oh, we can actually delete that one. We have a different manifest. Actually, you know what? That's probably why it hasn't shown up because we don't have it listed in our HTML page. We actually have to tell it that this manifest file exists. So if we go, correct, inspect this, make sure it is actually loading that manifest network icon. Okay, cool. Yeah, yeah. So the manifest is loaded. That's good. Um, what else do we need? I think all of this can just be listed as will be grouped together. So we'll just yeah, that's good. Okay, so then we just need to, we've got all those, and now we just need to add a, so we've got our build thing, we just need to add a GitHub. So we're going to post this on GitHub. So if we have a GitHub build script, so I have an example one here. So in the GitHub, and then within .github, we put a work workflows folder, and then paste my build script in there. We can do versioning. That's good. That's good. Node runner. That's good. Install. This is not necessary. And deploy. It's all good. We'll deploy on. We want to deploy on version pushes. We're just going to deploy um, on every commit to main. Seems good. Node version 18. Ooh, and yeah, NVM. What is our current? We chose 22 or something like that, I think. How do you see the current? Yeah, it's current. Okay, makes sense. Yeah, we might just build it with the exact same node version, just so that all is guaranteed to work. Yeah. So what's happening here? We're checking out the repo, we're setting up Node. We're installing. We're using this action to install the version of Node. Doing some caching. So this is caching dependencies between runs. We install all the packages. npm install installs all of our dependencies. We then run the build script, which builds our file. We then use the deploy script to deploy this directory, which is our build directory, to GitHub, and that uses our GitHub token. So we'll have a website. Let's do it. Add build script. I'm going to publish it. It has to be public. And I mean, this is client-side development, so everyone's going to have your code anyway. So you've got to push that publicly. Done. Okay, let's go to GitHub. EBI, muscle WASM. What's our README look like? Okay, this is just a, damn, that's just a felt project. Okay, we're going to have to go to settings and go to pages. Will this work? It will fail, yeah. Deploy, everything else works except for this. It was denied, so I think we need to increase our we need to increase our, we need to allow our action to make commits. Read and write permissions. I mean, we could do this on a um, per action basis, but I think that should just work now. So this is all actions have read and write permissions. It's a security vulnerability technically, but doesn't really matter. We're going to have one workflow. We're not going to accept PRs for other people to add their own workflow, so it's fine. Let's watch this happen. Builds fast. Deploys. Done. Should be able to go here. We can see our, we can see our, if we go to our settings, pages from GitHub pages, save that. Now, if we go back here, go to our settings, use our GitHub page URL. I just have mine configured to be a subpath in my blog path. We have to give it a second, I think, for it to actually deploy. Yeah, it's building the page. So this is just deploying to, so we built our website and now it's deployed onto this URL. There you go. We have our WebAssembly tool. Let's use this example. Let's get the HTML output again. That one's nice. It's going to run that, and we have our EMBL replacement. Very nice. What other things could we do? This should technically have a standalone application. We can install function. Just wondering why that's not showing up. Okay, we have an app now. Normally you can trigger, there's like you can add a download button and stuff like that to add those kind of things. But yeah, we have it here now. Still does dark mode. Use the example, run the alignment. We get the alignment here. Works very nicely. Great. Amazing.